Let's drop a couple of rev bombs, shall we? Alright, shall we go? We've got the NS200 with us now, and it's time to take this baby out and see what it is made of. Whoa, I like the sound of it. Oh, you know what? This might just be my own personal bias talking here, but I like the feel of this bike a whole lot more than the RS200. That just seemed way too bulky and way too muscular for my taste, whereas this one seems way closer to the kind of bikes that I normally ride. It is a naked street bike. It's much lighter than the RS200, and since I'm riding this bike immediately after having ridden the RS200, I can tell the weight difference immediately, and it makes a world of a difference. And it's got a different kind of a pickup. Ultimately, I'm sure the RS200 can outbeat this bike in terms of pure power and speed, but as far as the feel of it is concerned in city traffic, I would take this bike any given day of the week. But hey, that might just be a very unpopular opinion. It might just be my own preference, but since I'm the one reviewing the bike, oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love the feel, absolutely loving it. The console, as you can make out, is nothing to write home about. It's very simplistic, it's very basic, but hey, for a bike that is less than a lakh, ex-showroom Delhi, this is a pretty good deal, especially if you're a college student, if you're getting your first bike and you want something fun, you want something that you can push around to the absolute limits, something that is low maintenance and easy in the pocket, something that you can convince your parents to spend their hard-earned money on. I think this is a very good bet. I'm not really even thinking about the look of the bike all that much. I'm just blown away by the simplicity and the incredible performance of this bike. For under a lakh, I think this is a phenomenal package, and just as we come to the end of the short little test ride, I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm going to go back home and give you my complete overview of what I thought about this beautiful bike from Bajaj. So here I am back home, and I have to first explain to you why I showed you so little of the test ride. You see, I actually forgot to turn on the wide angle on my GoPro, and as a result, what you could see for the most part is just my console. And nobody wants to see that for more than a couple of minutes. So what a shame, but the bike itself, the NS200, is far from it. It just may be my own personal bias towards naked street bikes, but I quite enjoy the NS200 and would prefer it any day for city riding over the RS200. The bike had a light, great riding quality about it, and it was just so easy to flick around that it had me bowled over from the word go. Even though the NS200 is much heavier than the FC16 that I ride normally, it still weighs in at a very manageable 152 kgs and is significantly lighter than its heavier sibling, the RS200. It has a surprisingly powerful and responsive single-cylinder 200cc engine, which is capable of producing 23.17 bhp at 9,500 rpm and 18.3 Nm of torque at 8,000 rpm. The bike has a fuel tank capacity of 13 liters, and the top speed is 136 kilometers an hour, which is just about 4 kilometers lesser than the RS200, which I have to say is very, very commendable. As you probably saw at the beginning of the video, the bike sounds really, really good and is a treat for your ears, but not so much for the eyes, because it is available in 3 different colors: the Graphite Black, the Mirage White, and the Wild Red. And even though I rode the red one, I have to say none of these colors really capture your imagination, but out of the ones available, the black one is probably the best. However, I was really impressed by the performance of the NS200 and would recommend this bike to anyone who's looking for a fun, responsive starter bike at the 200cc range. Trust me, this bike has plenty to handle as your first series bike, and it has just the right kind of ergonomics if you're a rider who is between that critical 18 to 22 year category. The NS200 is also priced really aggressively at just about 96,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, and it is a great bargain in pretty much every sense of the word. Now, having said that, there are a couple of drawbacks that I need to make you aware of. The first is the lack of a fuel injection system, and the second
is the missing ABS. Now, while I don't really care too much about the former, I think the latter is a little bit of a cause for concern, especially because when I was riding the bike around, I did not really have too much of confidence in the braking of the bike. While it's nothing to complain about, I just did not get the sense of assuredness that when push comes to shove in a close situation, when you really want the bike to stop, that it would comply. Now, I fully understand that you can't get everything in one single package, so I would say that it would be the responsibility of the rider to make sure that they're very disciplined with their braking. But at the same time, I don't think the lack of ABS should be an absolute deal breaker, because anyone who is buying this bike as their first bike would not have used one with ABS, so it's not like you're missing out on something that is very integral to your riding experience. So my final verdict on the NS200 is that it is a great offering from Bajaj, which is one of the most reliable names in Indian motorcycling. So if you're looking for a fun-sized pocket rocket that is about 200cc and is under that critical 1 lakh range, then the NS200 should definitely be at the top of your list. Alright, so I hope you guys found the video useful. If you did, then do hit that like button and share it with your friends. Also, if this is your first time around at the Savant Life, then do not forget to hit that subscribe button somewhere down below, because like I always say, it only takes a second. Also, because YouTube just likes complicating things for all of us, you need to now hit the notification icon as well. So it's that bell icon that you would see next to the subscribe button, so that you get notified every single time I put out new videos. So I know it's going to take a little more than a couple of seconds, but if you don't mind, कृपया घंटी बजा के जाओ.